It's time for a crossover you never knew you needed. Batman Beyond and Static Shock. Deep space. The Justice League finds themselves preparing a test of Static Shock's new Shockwave warp engine, hoping to prove Earth's potential to be accepted into the Intergalactic Alliance known as the Cooperative. Static's comms beep. "Javelin to Static, you okay in there?" Warhawk asks. Static smiles and looks at his co-pilot Batman, who is trying not to throw up. "Yeah, I'm good, but Batman's looking a little green," he jokes. Batman shakes his head. "Jokes aren't helping," Terry gasps. "All nausea was beaten away from me under Granny Goodness's care," Big Barda shouts over the comms. Outside, Superman and Icon are clearing a path for the ship, making sure the Shockwave drive will have a clear path for its test jump. "I don't like that the Cooperative is making Earth audition like this, Icon," Superman notes as he blasts another asteroid with his heat vision. "They require that all member planets exhibit superluminal capability," Icon shrugs as he pushes another rock out of the way. Soon, the path is clear. Static steps to the controls in the Shockwave ship. "Well done, gentlemen. Synchronize warp on my mark," Static says to the other heroes. He reaches out, using his powers to control the flow of the controls and activating the warp drive. Space bends around them, and the ships suddenly leap through space. The ship reappears in a new quadrant, but the heroes are shocked to find themselves in a space battle. "Whoa! Those are Sprock and Kund Marauders attacking Kaluan freighters!" one of the heroes shouts. Barda wastes no time and leaps out into space alongside Warhawk. This quadrant is occupied with the glory of battle, no longer just a boring escort mission. Praise Highfather! She bellows with joy as she pulls out her battle staff and rushes towards the nearest Marauder ship. Static, Superman, and Icon leap out into space, while Batman takes control of the Shockwave. "Maybe we can talk our way out of this. Does anyone speak Kund?" Static asks, his hands beginning to spark with energy. Icon shakes his head as he turns his powers on the Marauder ships. "The Kunds terrorize every sector of the known cosmos. They go wherever there is plunder," he explains. Batman steers the Shockwave through the battle, trying to avoid the Marauder lasers. "Trying to evade, but they're moving too fast. Can't shake them," he shouts to the others. Suddenly, the ship is enveloped in a green shield. "Apologies for my tardiness, friends. These scavengers scuttled another ship a few parsecs back, and I had to tow it to safety," Green Lantern says as he floats into the battle. Static Shock has had enough. He floats up and reaches out with his powers. Even though the Marauders are in space, their ships still require energy. Energy that Static can draw forth. He pulls the energy in, stranding the ships. A moment passes before he lashes out with the same energy he took. The Marauder ships float dead in space, drifting gently. "Left him enough juice for life support," Static explains to his team as he catches his breath. Barda just frowns. "That is more than these Marauders deserve," she growls. "Okay, Justice League, let's head back home," Static calls as he lands back on the Shockwave. The next day, Terry McGinnis falls asleep in class, earning a scolding from his teacher. Afterwards, he walks through the halls with Max. "You know Mr. Wayne's gonna give you grief for taking naps in school, Terry. What's up?" she asks. Terry shrugs. "Working off planning with the Justice League. Space jet lag is the worst. Couldn't get used to all that floating," he groans. But their conversation is cut short as they head out into the quad and discover a student protest taking place. Some of the students are protesting Gotham's new Q grid that is being activated this evening. A jock is pushing them around, annoyed that they are taking up space and making so much noise, suggesting that they should just spam everyone's smart devices with their message. "So everyone can spam block us? No way! We want to look right in the eyes of the people who want to screw up our lives," the protest leader explains to the jock as he motions to the sides. The big teen reaches out and grabs hold of Melvin Kim's shirt. I'm gonna knock your lights out, he growls. But Terry is suddenly there, catching the big man's arm and stopping the attack. Yo, no need for any of that. These people can say what they want, as long as it's not hurting anyone, Terry says. But the scene is interrupted as Zeta cops suddenly arrive, ordering everyone to disperse through their speakers. The protesters begin to move away angrily. They can't silence us! We need everyone to show up at the unveiling tonight, the protest leader shouts to the others. Hey, weren't you in Professor O'Neill's Zen philosophy class last year? Max asks Melvin as he picks up his fallen sign. Melvin introduces himself and explains that the Q-Grid is going to pump more lies into everyone's life. Nobody cares about what's happening in the world. My parents don't even, he says before trailing off, sadly looking at everyone dispersing. Terry feels bad for him. Listen, take my contact info. Hit me up if you need help tonight, he explains. Melvin thanks him and heads home, hurrying up as he suddenly realizes what time it is. He rushes to his family's apartment. Please don't let me be too late, he says as he fumbles with his keys. He opens the door just as his parents' rest cycle ends, and they are locked back into their programming work. Rest cycle expired. Task security sequencer initiating. Task lockdown complete. Rest cycle refresh in 360 minutes, the computer announces. Melvin's shoulders sag as he realizes that he missed his parents' break and that he won't be able to speak to them for another 6 hours. He slides to the floor. He hadn't spoken to his parents in a while. They had gotten out of the city to try and get away from it all. From the world constantly trying to pump you full of information and data. From the things constantly trying to get your attention. And now, the Q-Grid was going to make it even worse. Meanwhile, in Dakota City, Virgil Hawkins sits with his family, watching a documentary about the day he became Static Shock, and how the heroes that were created during the protest helped to build a better future for Dakota City. I'm proud of the part you played in helping Dakota rebuild, son. Still don't know why you're not in Gotham for the Q-Grid event, though, Virgil's father says over dinner. Virgil shrugs. The work to turn Q-Juice into a stable power source started right here in Dakota, Dad. Besides, you know how Neo-Gotham is. They're gonna do their own thing, no matter what anyone else thinks, Virgil explains. Meanwhile, in Neo-Gotham, Max and Terry arrive at the event, noting that while the protesters have arrived, way more people are celebrating the launch of the Q-Grid. But suddenly, Terry's head whips around at the sound of approaching motorcycles. His eyes widen as he sees a group of jokers roar into the event, laughing as they ready their weapons. Terry quickly ducks away and returns as Batman. Somebody wants to make life in Gotham better, so of course these jerks show up, he growls as he launches over the crowd. He slams into one of them, knocking her off her bike and sending her rolling across the pavement. Batman whirls on the second biker and readies his batarangs. Let me guess, you guys want to sign up for the Q-Grid rollout too? He asks as he tosses the batarangs and takes out the second bike. But the rest of the Jokers have arrived. Batman lands as the Jokers surround him, drawing knives and clubs. Crashing a party crawling with cop bots? You Jokers really didn't think this through, Batman notes. Behind him, the event has erupted in chaos. Melvin is among the protesters and quickly begins to run, trying to call Terry for help. But Terry is busy fighting the Jokers. He ducks under an attack and punches the goon in the face. Hey Max, what do we know about the Q-Grid technology? Terry asks as he leaps over another attack and kicks a Joker in the face. There isn't a lot of public-facing info on the tech, but anything that generates that much juice is probably really dangerous. You should definitely keep these goons away from the power plant, she tells him. Terry nods as he leaps and twists through the air, tasing another two Jokers. But one of the Jokers runs past Terry and lifts a rocket launcher onto his shoulder. Let's end this party with a bang, Batman! The Joker laughs as he fires. The rocket explodes amongst the fleeing crowd, knocking Melvin through the air and slamming him into the Q-Grid generator. Damn it! No! Stop it, you lunatic! Batman shouts as he launches into the air. But he isn't fast enough, and the Joker fires again before Batman can slam into him. Batman whirls, watching as the rocket flies towards the generator. It explodes, and the event erupts into a ball of fire. Strange energy from the generator begins to flash around them. Terry sees Melvin flying through the air and slamming into the water of Gotham Harbor. No, 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 Batman whispers as he launches after the teen. He floats above the water, trying to scan for Melvin's life signs. That weird energy from the explosion is messing with the suit's scanners. Melvin, can you hear me? Batman shouts, but Melvin's eyes are closed, and he sinks deeper into the darkness of the waters. And that was the complete story for Batman Static Beyond, Issue 1 by Evan Narcisse. A fun crossover I wanted to cover because I loved the Static Shock Show and Batman Beyond as a kid. But what did you think about today's comic? Let me know in the comments down below, and tell me if you want me to continue this on the channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe to help us out in that YouTube algorithm. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.